on the CT side. So let's see how Cloud9 gets into this match.
Very slow start from both teams thus far. Schneider just peeking down mid with the P2K. There is Skadoodle down there, but the terrorists playing this one a bit slower, not going for any fast pushes. You can see that they are getting a bit of information through in the apps right now. But only one smoke on the side. That's on Sean Gares. Again, we are seeing the Zeus coming to fruition. It's been nothing that gets himself a couple kills today with that weapon. Be interesting to see if one of his teammates can get the third. MSL with the aggressive push down Banana. He's hearing noise, but unable to spot players. So he's going to be throwing his grenade down, and that does 60 damage to nothing. Yep. That's massive.
Yeah, just a really, really solid, slow start here from Cloud9 on the T side. They're still holding on that one smoke, so some sort of an execute is going to be happening. Judging from the situation, they've still not really decided what they're going to do. Maybe they're just going to try go with that first pick and then make a decision on which bomb site to hit.
Very much the case, especially as you're seeing how they're kind of filtering out here. For a couple moments, you had two Ts were occupying second mid. They decide that maybe Banana is the best place to go. 30 seconds. And as I mentioned before, a lack of utility, but they are just going to be going hell for leather through onto the site. MSL isn't going to get a frag, but does chime in with an assist. However, he's heavily tagged, has to back off. He's been finished off. Kjærbye now on the site. U-boxes gets picked off, and Cloud9 with 13 seconds to go, and now finally on the site with the bomb plant down. And it's all on aizy and Schneider. They do have a defuse kit, and if they can get themselves a kill here, they have a chance, but it's going to be very slim, and especially as Sean Gares puts down Schneider. Now I'll leave aizy, one of the players you're watching out for here, to go huge, and there is actually a team kill coming in from Skadoodle, but I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference, and Cloud9 do convert the bomb plant to the first round.
Yep, a very methodical, slow approach to this round from Cloud9, really just waiting for what Dignitas is going to throw at them as CTs, and really that paying off there, eventually hitting that beam bomb side, and just one smoke is going to make a huge difference there. That 5-on-2 attack basically towards that B bomb side and getting those 2 entry kills, and things working out there. Cloud9 picking up that pistol round.
So you can see the Dignitas have gone for a kind of a half here with 3 Deagles and 2 CZs.
Yeah, I do appreciate the fact that Cloud9 opted to buy a lot of Molotovs, a lot of things they can throw around the corners and secure in areas before committing anywhere.
Just trying to draw those pesky CTs out of position, see if they can do significant damage as well. But MSL still in a good position here with that Deagle. If he can find a headshot, then things could get a bit awkward for Cloud9. So far, so good for them, though. Just rattling off a couple of bullets and nothing else. And they still have a couple Molotovs to play with as well, so Cloud9 maybe looking at the longer game in this round. But meanwhile, they are forcing their way up through short. Sean Gares had a quick peek, didn't spot anything. There's another Molotov behind the car.
Yeah, it's mind game so far. It's just Cloud9 trying to get that information of what Dignitas is trying to do here on this eco round. I think it's a good call from Dignitas, by the way, not to commit too much into this, as Schneider gets that first pick.
Looking for a second as well, but the aim punch a bit too much for aizy. His aim suddenly going to the sky. Schneider trying to get the frag in the backside of nothing. He does connect it as well. This is a really good start for Dignitas. The bomb has transitioned its way onto the site and is indeed planted as well from Cloud9. And although there is a man advantage to Dignitas, you've still got to favour Cloud9 here with the positions that they have and the weapons at their disposal. The Deagle, not necessarily tailor-made for these situations, and Skadoodle just rips on him with the P90. 2 quick-fire frags for him, still on the site, 16 HP to his name, but that's more than enough. And it looks like Dignitas are happy enough just to save these weapons and scurry off.
Yep, that was a good economic dent that Dignitas managed to do for Cloud9, getting those 2 picks. He's always going to be good going further in this half. And yeah, like I pointed out, Dignitas not really investing heavily into this is going to make sure that they have a lot of nades to work with and that AWP if they want to in that first weapon round. So I think it's a good call from them not investing too heavily in the second round.
So Cloud9 now, what's the play going to be this time around? Last time, again, it was a very touchy-feely kind of round, as you said, just trying to feel out, see what Dignitas were opting for. Yeah,
again, 4 Molotovs, that's going to indicate that they're going to be taking it slow. They're going to be trying to flush out the CTs and trying to figure out what kind of a setup Dignitas is doing here. That's a bit of a missed Molotov there.
Indeed. So is it a case with those Molotovs of just trying to force out players from their position? Kjærbye, though, with the 1 dig as we're speaking, and I guess that's the reason the Molotov goes down. If it connects, he couldn't have gone for that peek. So just to kind of assume some control over Banana, do you think, from the CT's perspective? Wow. He's gone back in again, and he's had the exact same outcome. That's 2 frags for him. What a start this has been from Dignitas. Although the grenade does chip on in onto Schneider. He's been dropped. Nothing down to 44, however. And here comes the retaliation push from Cloud9. Decent positions, though, from the CTs. Dignitas could hold on firm. Cloud9 have a decision to make. They could potentially go through arches towards the B side. Instead, they're going to wrap their way around onto the site, try and isolate Pimp from his teammate. And they have just done exactly that. Skadoodle rips on him with the P90. And that bomb, again, is going to get planted. MSL answers back in kind, though. So 3-on-2. Make that a 2-on-2 now. Make that a 2-on-1 indeed, as the Kjærbye, the man with the sexy 2-deeks, has got an MP7 to his name. And still has that Desert Eagle blaze. Can he land any more shots? Another headshot from Kjærbye, very nearly clutching the round. That would have been ridiculous.
Wow, it seems like everyone's getting inspired by that happy ace last weekend there. Kjærbye with those 3D, 1Ds, just going nuts, but just great recovery from Sean Gares, and I think Skadoodle was there too, picking up that round in the end, do that wraparound around the arch. But Dignitas making it really costly for Cloud9 here. It's gonna be great for them going further in this halving thing and start picking up some rounds. And it's gonna force Cloud9 on an eco pretty easily.
That's a very good point. You know, it's the economic damage, of course, and although Dignitas will be a bit disappointed they have managed to convert one of these rounds, it still hasn't been for naught. Here comes the grenades. Pimp quickly has to scurry on off, will be flashing as he escapes through arches. However, that smoke is going to force his hand into Library. And there is indeed a smoke down there as well. So Cloud9, they've gained a lot of ground, but this really is half the battle. They still need to get onto the site. They have to be very wary of the potential spray down that will come in. There's Schneider with the first frag. Pimp has been dropped straight afterwards, and the push is still in. This smoke, though, enough to choke on, is keeping Cloud9 at bay for now.
Yeah, that smoke really stopped that rush on its speed. The Schneider there goes for the kill, but nothing in Shroud. Those 2 picks to follow.
Cloud9, in their credit, have decided to go back to the drawing board and say, screw A, let's just go and head over to B. And you can see that MSL clearly has no idea what's about to come to him. He's still looking down on the T step side, and now suddenly he realizes as the smoke connects into the entrance, there is a small gap, so at least he knows no one's around the coils. He's now going to check dark spot, sees the play on the site, does get the spray into effect, needs to wait for his teammate here. aizy has to come in quickly, and indeed he will do just that. The flashbang forces MSL back for a few more seconds. Cloud9 have a decent crossfire. One of the players is on the CT side, so Dignitas have to push out together, and it is nothing on low HP, who has chimed in for that first frag. aizy now is going to be pushing onto the site, 20 HP to his name. He doesn't have a defuse kit, so this is going to be a rough round for him to clutch, and the bomb is ticking down. Nothing goes back in for seconds and secures the 4-0 to Cloud9.
That was a weird round. It felt like when that smoke came in, it was first a fast push from Cloud9, trying to do that wraparound through arch, and just sort of trying to surprise Dignitas there, but they smoked Cloud9 off, and that sort of stopped the whole push coming in, and it felt like, okay, now Cloud9 is going to be in a lot of trouble, but then things changed in CT spawn. Cloud9 getting those picks, going into B, making it a 3-on-2, and prevailing that round in the end.
So we are seeing Cloud9 again performing on their T side. It's been the CT side that's been shaky, but on maps like an Inferno, you're expecting them to hold fast. You're not expecting them to have too many issues on this, so that will be in the back of Dignitas' mind. They need to start getting some rounds on the board before this gets out of control.
But but the positive thing right now is the fact that Cloud9 is losing a lot of players in these rounds, though. The economy is not that good in favor of Cloud9, so it can easily turn around really fast as well.
That's very true. This map, of course, can be very streaky towards the CTs if you start to get that economy behind you.
Yeah, definitely.
Dignitas really haven't had economy behind them the whole time. They've been forcing, you know, into these 2v2, 1v1 scenarios with effectively like Deagles or this mixed match of weaponry with like FAMASs, things like that. So yeah, I think there's definitely some positives right now for Dignitas, as Skadoodle does spot himself a player jumping across mid. Schneider peeks out with the CZ, unable to connect enough dots to take down the frag, but did do significant damage in the process. Skadoodle now tagging up. So many players are low on the server right now. It really is anybody's round. It just takes one moment of brilliance to turn this in their favor, and it's not going to be aizy on this occasion. He gets shut down from Shroud. 25 seconds here, and the bomb is just about to get planted from Cloud9. Oof. Schneider.
Hello.
Tasty. Tasty.
Yeah, that happened. Wow. Yeah, but moving forward, it's going to be interesting to see how Dignitas is going to react to situations. Now, Cloud9 really keeping that pace up so far on its T side. I'm really liking it, actually. A bit of a surprise factor, I guess, from their point of view. Just trying to, like, sort of play with those mind games by playing fast.
Yeah, again, judging by their positions, I think they're just trying to inflict as much pain and suffering onto Cloud9 as possible. They've given up this round for sure.
That's the whole point right now. Just making as much dent as possible. As Pimp picking up those 2 kills on seang, Gares, and Shroud.
Oh, both so close to being exploded as well from the bomb.
Yep. Let's see if we can see the scoreboard. We can see the actual money situation from Cloud9. Let's see if Dignitas now opts to go through the AWP.
Just seeing the replay coming in from Pimp's second frag was the impressive one onto Shroud. And just got a very quick glimpse of the economy.
Okay. Yeah, they've bought just M4s. They have a 1AK going for. Let's see, it's going to be an aggressive push from Dignitas into Banana as well, or semi-aggressive, you could say.
Yeah, and this is another thing that Semler was talking about before, and I fully agree. If Pimp isn't necessarily there just yet, in fact, hold that thought just for a second, the force is coming through. That Molotov could very well cook MSL. He doesn't get fragged on the retreat from freakazoid, and we'll be throwing down that smoke to extinguish the fire. Yep,
that trade really favoring Cloud9 there. 4-on-4 situation, yeah. T-side on this map is definitely going to be favor the terrorists. As MSL is taking his sneaky little position here. He's playing pretty much an all-in position right now, pushing in. Not favoring him at all.
Man. And that goes from like a favorable position to Cloud9 to like an absolutely horrendous position now for Dignitas with that force push. They were looking for information, they got it, but it's at the cost of lives, and it will be at the cost of another round as well.
Yep, that flash coming in from B, and then the other guy pushing in was an indication for the terrorists that there's going to be a second guy in that B bomb side, even after MSL went down. So it was an easy read from Cloud9 to know that there's one more guy in that B side.
Ooh, Schneider does get the frag onto nothing, but was worth the chase from Cloud9's perspective, and they're already going to be 6-0 to the good on the T side. I mean, this is already, even if Dignitas were to win the next rounds, obviously, in terms of momentum, that wouldn't favor Cloud9, but 6 rounds is a decent halftime scoreline for the terrorists. Like, I'm sure they take that at the start of this map.
Yeah, T-side on Inferno, 6 rounds is a good scoreline already, so obviously a perfect start for Cloud9 here. But still, again, Dignitas keeping Cloud9 modest here. Only 2 guys surviving this round from Cloud9. So, again, it's going to be economy is not going to get out of hand from Cloud9's perspective. So it's just about Dignitas being able to, first of all, obviously win the first round, but then stringing a couple rounds together. That's going to force Cloud9 into a save, and then at that point, Dignitas can start dictating this play, because it's Cloud9 just dictating the pace of the game so far all the time. It's Dignitas trying to take the early battles, but it's Cloud9 coming on top of them for the most part.
So we do finally see that AWP in the hands of Pimp, and the point I was going to make is that Semler raised a really interesting point earlier on, I would say. 3-play stack B.
Yep,
as well.
Yep, they were really looking for that Cloud9 B push early on. Not happening, obviously.
Pimp just narrowly misses out on the AWP shot. I will eventually get round to that point, but he's been shut down, and that silence frag will cause so many problems for Dignitas.
That's a whole side loss for Dignitas. As you can see, they're already retreating. They're going to go for that save. And it's all just 1 kill. That's going to make them do that as well. Pimp was basically alone on that site, as Dignitas had 3 guys committed toward that B bomb site. Just a good call from Cloud9 there, doing that apartment push. Keeping this game super simple at this point. As we see, I think Dignitas is probably going to take a timeout at this point. I think it's a smart call, actually, to try and take away some of that Cloud9 momentum that's been going on right now. But like I was going to say, Cloud9 just keeping things super simple, fast-paced, and in-your-face kind of Counter-Strike, where you're not going to try to do like a very heavy execution, but you're just going to rely on that entry kill and just run with it. And it's working perfectly so far.
Yeah, I feel this is where Cloud9 are at their best, honestly, when they have that kind of free reign to do whatever they please. They just rush into sites. They just have that confidence oozing through their veins. And I definitely think that's one of the resounding features as to what makes them such an interesting team to watch as well. 7-0, as you say, pause called, and this is almost definitely going to be tactical, I have to feel, because they just want to salvage as many rounds as possible on this off.
Yeah, I mean, most of the rounds are being pretty close from Dignitas' point of view, just not being able to get those last couple of kills. So the rounds have been favoring Cloud9, but that specific round there, I would call that bad luck from Dignitas' point of view, since they opted to go towards B. They took that gamble of sending 3 players towards B. And then Cloud9 deciding to push apartments and getting that first pick and basically entirely the whole bomb side with just 1 kill. So it's just a lot of things going in favor of Cloud9 right now. So if I'm Dignitas, I just want to reset, start playing really, really vanilla Counter-Strike on the safety setups, and stop worrying too much. Just stop doing too complicated things.
Yeah, for sure. Now, the point is that Semler was saying on the desk or the couch before that he'd almost like that they ran with rifles a bit more often than maybe forcing with an AWP. Because if Pimp's not feeling it, if he hasn't quite fit in, then it may suit their style a bit more.
Yeah.
Pimp is a phenomenal rifler, for example. So to see him picking that up, I think they were trying to change things, but just that unfortunate timing.
I think it's a fair system to make or ask why was Pimp alone in that position with an AWP.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the end result would have been totally different if there would have been an M4 player in that position. I think it would have been able to take at least one, maybe two, and that's going to be in a totally different round. And send that AWP somewhere else, either pick in middle or pick in B, and have a Colt playing that apartment or the balcony spot.
Absolutely. So it was a tactical pause, a tactical timeout, and as you can see, we are resuming into the action here. Round number 8, Cloud9 so far with all the victories. And let's see how Dignitas switch things up. It doesn't seem to matter if freakazoid is on point with the headshot. Just peeks round, wrecks Schneider.
Just look at the pace of Counter-Strike Cloud9 is displaying right now. It's like a different team from the previous match. There's a second pick as well. It's everything just going in Cloud9's favor so far.
They're clearly hungry for that major spot.
Oh, yeah.
They are wanting this as fast as humanly possible. And there's another frag, and this time it's Shroud.
I think they heard what Sadigus was talking about. It's the best of 3 is going to be over in an hour. With this tempo, it may as well be.
Oh, it definitely could be. And they don't seem to be slowing up anytime soon. So, again, got to just save those weapons. There's nothing else Dignitas can do here.
That was like an envy type of round where you just try to take those aim duels in middle early on, and freakazoid getting that first pick, and then Cloud9 shifting their focus towards Banana, flashing in through that aggressive smoke, getting that second pick as well, and then just running with it towards B, knowing that there's going to be maximum player in that B site, and they're just going to manhandle whoever's there. And yeah, I mean, it's becoming desperate right now. It's going to feel like when you're Dignitas right now, it's going to feel like nothing's working for you. As we see here, everyone from Cloud9, apart from Skadoodle, is going down in a meat grinder.
Not ideal, but I guess still they can cry
with it.
They can cry into their 8 rounds, no problem.
Yeah, yeah.
And wipe their tears away with all those rounds that they have right now. Pimp with pretty decent play there, and well, it's difficult to really say what's gone wrong for Dignitas. I mean, they've just been comprehensively outplayed across the board.
Yeah, it's one of those things, momentum things, when all the decisions you make on the T side just happen to be right. I think the greatest example of being when Dignitas pushed 3 to B, Cloud9 decided to push apartments.
That's exactly it. Just a bit unfortunate from Dignitas. Maybe the fortune is going to change and sway back into their favor. MSL playing the closer spot here, just waiting for that smoke to dissipate and maybe have a quick cheeky peek. But he's done that a couple of times and he has found himself taken out as a result, so maybe that's playing in the back of his mind. They do have an AWP again in the hands of Pimp, who hasn't really been able to use it too often here on this half. There's MSL, peeks out, 2 frags, looking for a third, connects it as well. And these kind of moments of brilliance can start to inspire the rest of your teammates. So maybe this is the moment where Dignitas strike back. Nothing, though, has something to say about this. He wants to keep that unbroken streak carrying on into 9-0, but this would have to be a ridiculous clutch from Cloud9. They do at least have the bomb, though, Natu, and they are moving towards apps.
Yep, now the important fact here for Dignitas is to try and keep alive as many players as possible.
Oh, nothing's picked himself up another one, but there's Pimp looking for a second frag here. Trying the no-scope's not working, so he pulls out the USP instead and gets Dignitas finally on the board.
Yep, exactly the type of fuel to the fire that Dignitas needed. MSL getting those 3 picks in Banana, just going to show that he knows how to play that weapon for sure. As we can see here in this replay, there goes Shroud, there goes freakazoid, and Gares as well. So just a good job for Dignitas, and also the main thing being that Dignitas managed to have 4 players alive at the end of that round.
Yeah, that second kill was sick. Just the flick across, perfect.
I think he's done that before.
Control. Oh yeah, definitely.
1 or 2 times.
Yeah, just a few. Again though, look at this. The instant answer back from Cloud9 is just ruthless aggression. Let's not stop for anybody. But there's Schneider, aizy with 2 frags as well. Schneider with a second. The bomb has been dropped and it's all on Shroud. Has been quiet at times today. This would definitely be a moment for him to strike. He's got plenty of time on the board. The issue is that the CTs know where the bomb is and they are encircling around like a pack of vultures. And as good as Shroud is, I don't fancy his chances here. If he can take some weapons away from Dignitas, of course, they have just broke their round loss bonus, so he could still get a minor victory in that sense if he can kill a player or 2, but it's not going to happen. And there's Dignitas racking up their second round in a row.
Yep, another fast round from Cloud9, but this time it feels like sort of the luck has turned its side towards Dignitas. Schneider and aizy going here and getting those picks and just basically picking Cloud9 apart in a matter of 10 seconds. I mean, it is that far you can take that aggressive play. I think at this point, Cloud9 should be taking it a bit more easier. As we can see here, 2 rounds in a row from Dignitas, by the way, forcing Cloud9 into eco. This is a sentiment on itself on how close all these rounds have been so far. But for Cloud9's sake, I think they need to slow the play down a bit right now.
You can see that MSL and Kjærbye just pushing straight down Banana. They don't have any weapons to worry about this time around. The flashes again. Here comes the retaliation push from Cloud9. Only a flashbang remains in the hands of nothing, and he has just thrown that. Here comes the push. aizy heavily flashed, has to just back on away. Pimp got caught with the smoke, and that will signify the end of his life. However, aizy's holding down from pit. There's 3 frags in quick succession. Very nicely played. Although, of course, it is an anti-eco, but Dignitas take it in style, only losing 1 player, so that's good enough for them. They'll be happy with that result.
It's very important. That means they're going to be able to buy a rebuy even if they lost 1 round, but also enables them to buy the Molotovs, buy the smokes, those being the most important things here on CT side of Inferno, to smoke off and Molotov those choke points as the T's are attacking. Now the interesting part here is to see what is Cloud9 going to react with. How are they going to change their play style? Because so far, this really fast-paced counter-attack has obviously worked, but the past couple times, it's obviously not anymore, because it's all about, it's a bit of timing, a bit of luck that really matters in that kind of a play style, so it's only going to take you that far.
From a neutral's perspective, I'm just so happy that Dignitas have got some rounds on the board, because this is quickly getting to a point of no return on Inferno, and indeed it may still find that way.
Yep. I mean, they were in a similar situation, sort of like they had a 7-8 half on CT side of Inferno against the Immunity as well. So let's see how many rounds they actually pick up here. Obviously, they have the ability of picking up a lot of T rounds as well.
That's a very good point. They have been in similar situations before. The question is, can they get to 7 rounds? Things are starting to turn in their favor here. 55 seconds left. freakazoid's down to 14. They're looking for the boost to try and spot at the back of the site. No one's home just yet from Cloud9's perspective. And still they wait, trying to feel out the opposition. Dignitas holding firm. This is exactly what they need to be doing in this kind of situation. Just run down the clock, force Cloud9's hand, put them in a position where they're not coming at a site with a 2-player advantage. And that's typically where they've been so far in Inferno. Like, they've constantly got the opening picks, and then getting onto the site is no problem. Typically, that's the biggest issue for Inferno, but here comes the push into Banana. There is a stack up. I don't think they're going to fall for this. They only spot nothing coming through. So you can see the Dignitas quickly going for that rotation onto the B side. The 2 first frags go in their favor. MSL jumps up with the M4, does finally get himself a frag, and a second. He's looking for the 3rd. It's not going to matter, though. Time is, of course, of the essence, and Cloud9 have none left. Just 2 seconds. The question now is, can they save the AWP? Skadoodle trying to scamper away, and I think he is going to save this one, but there's Dignitas again. Yeah,
it just became growingly too obvious that what the hit was going to be from Cloud9. It felt like, yeah, it was obviously going to be a big hit there. Dignitas reading into it. 2 guys playing really passively on B side. As we see MSL here picking up his 2nd kill is pretty nutty. He's just spraying through that smoke, hitting that headshot. But then, on that round, Cloud9 making it too obvious for that B hit. I think it was Shroud who was doing the distraction towards A side. When he didn't manage to get any picks, that didn't cause any rotation from the CT. And it just made it too easy for Dignitas at that point.
Maybe a bit of a worrying thing for Dignitas, though, is it's MSL who is proven to be like the go-to player. And he's not typically at the top of that list. You know, we're talking about aizy, we're talking about Kjærbye before, even Pimp, Schneider, all these names came up, but it's MSL that's doing the work for his team, but maybe going to lead from example here. Or by example, I should say. Schneider coming through. Has spotted himself players. There's 2 frags, make it a 3rd. And a very simple round for Dignitas at the end, and they have got themselves 5 in a row now.
Yep, again, a testament where we saw they didn't lose a single player. Their economies, I think it's gone to a point where they probably don't even have to save anymore in this half, but it also means that they'll have so many needs to work with. Here we have Schneider killing those 3 players once again. But yeah, they have so many nades to work with. It's gonna be hard for Cloud9 to make any strategies, because they are gonna have to at some point make a risk and run through a smoke or Molotov, because Dignitas just has so much to work with at this point with this economy they've built up, as we can see looking at the left side of the screen.
I suppose from Cloud9's perspective, though, they were doing those kind of smoke pushes earlier and just everything was going their way.
But at the same time, anything above 8 rounds right now is going to be just a plus for Cloud9. So yeah, they've already built up a pretty good half. So anything above this would be a great bonus.
It's one of those kind of strange situations, though, where if you'd offered Cloud9 8-7 at the start, they'd be like, oh yes, they would have snatched out your hands. But if Dignitas pull back 7 rounds, I think Cloud9 will be a bit disappointed that it wasn't at least double digits. So, you know, stats don't always paint the full picture of how a game's played out.
Yep, very streaky so far. It's been momentum-based, you could say.
Yeah, for sure.
And not a lot of nades for Cloud9 to work with. Only one smoke, a Molotov, a couple of smokes actually, and 3-4 flashes to work with. Let's see what kind of execute they're going to be building up here. Seems like they're setting up for that Pete play again.
And again, it's MSL who was, I think, for a split second, thinking about playing aggressive. Of course, he can't see what we can see.
Play.
And that is that the T's are starting to push on in. Once again, they are going to have the one player that's coming through mid. Ooh. MSL sprays down 2 players. Everything rests on Kjærbye now. If he can survive for a few more seconds, bag himself a frag, there's every chance they could clutch this. He's trying to buy up time for the rest of his team. The bomb has been dropped. The Molotov was stopping the plant for a few more seconds. So again, that's bought crucial time for Dignitas. Bomb finally planted. How's the retake looking? 2 defuse kits, but no utility whatsoever for Dignitas. But that's the first frag. That could be everything. Final player is Shroud. He's capable of pulling off these plays. But if Dignitas peek at the same time, he can't do this, and Pimp gets the headshot. Beautiful shot early on from Shroud, but that will be another round to Dignitas.
Yeah, MSL's really, like you could say, balls deep play there on the edge of that smoke. Really fading off, getting those 2 picks. But I think the MVP of that round was actually that Molotov, because that just made Cloud9 not being able to pick up that bomb for a while. Gave all that time for Pimp and aizy to rotate from A to B, and then Pimp coming in and winning that clutch round and making a, I think, is it 600 round out for Dignitas? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So it's been really streaky.
I was a bit worried there for Dignitas, though, when they peaked it 1 by 1. I was thinking Shroud could pull this off, but Pimp was up to the challenge. Cloud9, though, now the round loss bonus is going in their hands. They can easily get the AKs and a healthy assortment of grenade Schneider caught. But so is Shroud. But this trade definitely going in the favor of Cloud9, and they're looking to pounce on this opportunity. Pimp now moving in. The confidence is starting to ooze through Dignitas, but he can't connect onto the second frag, which leaves us with MSL and Kjærbye. Last 2 remaining Danes. Trying to salvage this half if they possibly can. Bomb's been planted. 2 mollies, 2 smokes, but Sean Gares puts down MSL with the AK headshot. That's going to leave us with Kjærbye. How could he possibly pull this one off? And he can't. He is going to get silenced. 9-6, a very good half.
Yeah.
It's been such a weird first half, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's not been your common Inferno T play for sure. It felt like they've just thrown off their strategy book of T-side Inferno out the window and just go for that very simple, fast-paced counter-strike, as we saw in that round as well. Just taking over apartments and getting those, trading those 2 kills and taking that A side and getting that kill on Pimp as well, basically securing them in the round. But yeah, just an odd playstyle there, but obviously it's paying off. They are up 9-6 after the T side of Inferno, definitely favoring Cloud9 at this point on this map.
But this is where things could get really interesting, because as you mentioned before, and completely correctly, Dignitas did have a pretty damn strong T side on Inferno against Immunity. Now, I think it's safe to say that Immunity aren't Cloud9, and there's obviously going to be some crossovers that you can't possibly say, oh well, because of this, that therefore means that this is going to happen. But still, I mean, there is good potential for Dignitas to pull this one back. Plus, Cloud9 have been shaky on their CT sides today.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Dignitas on picking up this pistol round, that's for sure. I think it would just put Cloud9 too far ahead as Shroud gets that first pick.
That's a pretty huge frag, but can he do any better? Yes, he can! He pulls out the Zeus! 2 frags.
Wow.
Pretty sick play. And there's nothing as well, just holding the angle on second mid. They weren't expecting that. Skadoodle goes for the peak with a USP, and he's going to bag himself a frag as well. It's now all on aizy, and I mean, one of the parameters, one of the hurdles that needed to be navigated over from Dignitas is to win this second pistol. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen. aizy does bag himself a frag, but Cloud9 go to double digits.
Look at that cheeky smile from Shroud there. He knew he did right. I mean, it's just a great testament to the fact that self-confidence and intuition is a huge part of Counter-Strike. Here we see Shroud again here, pushed down middle, getting that pick on Schneider, and following up on picking that kill on Kjærbye as well, making a huge difference. Also trying to go for a Zeus kill, obviously not succeeding, but Cloud9 just puts him on the driver's seat for sure. As we see Dignitas heavily investing on this one. Tech9's on a lot of nades. Feels like they're going to try and do a big execute.
That looked like it could be the most ridiculous spray down ever from the MP7, but the way it's going is the Pro 90 living up to its name. 4 frags with the P90, nothing finishes it off with the P2000.
Yep, well, Dignitas looking for that B execute, but obviously not getting, because Cloud9 just running down middle, running down banana, disrespecting the Danes totally, just destroying them with the P90s. It's a fair way of denying your position of doing any kind of an execute. Usually I would just suggest you to take over banana, because it's a very common spot for a second round buy to go towards that B bomb site, but Cloud9 just taking it a step further, you could say.
Oh, I thought that grenade was going to do so much damage and only really hit MSL. Nothing goes for the peak. He does get dinked, but it's still spraying down with the A4. Pulls out the Tech 9, gets fragged. This is pretty big for Dignitas, or at least it was for a couple seconds before Shroud stepped into apps and just rained down with the MP9. He will trade across to the M4. And Cloud9 looking good for this 12-6 lead on the CT side. Things are starting to look a bit grim for Dignitas, but here we go. We are going to start to see the buy-ups coming in thick and fast from this point onwards.
Yep, I think it's gonna be a tough half here for Dignitas, that's for sure. I think when you're Cloud9 at this point, since you're leading so heavily, I think you just apply that pressure, keep playing aggressively, and try to deny Dignitas from making any kind of an execute. I think that's the best advice to give when you're Cloud9 on the CT side right now.
Yep, nice spray down.
Look at that. They're just holding on those P90s as well. That's suggesting a lot of aggressiveness.
Oh man, even against AKs just rushing down mid. This is ballsy, but it seems to be paying out for them, or at least it was. Now B's completely open. However, the bomb has been dropped. It doesn't seem to matter because so have Cloud9. It's all on Sean Gares, 12 HP.
I mean, that's a fair try from them, to be honest with you. When you have this advantage, there's 12-6 up. It's with Schneider picking up Sean Gares as well, around going towards Dignitas, but still it's a fair try for them. They can just keep on those weapons and try to, like I said, apply a lot of pressure and try to work those P90s and MP7s and whatnot they had. Obviously backfired. They got the first pick, but then just got traded off in banana, and then got killed all over the map, but it's a fair try. I mean, I think it was worth it, obviously, since they can still buy on this one, and they're still 12-7 up.
Yeah, totally see where you're coming from there. Because I guess if you're trading across to the M4s, you're effectively throwing away quite a bit of money in that round. And if it pays out for you, then things can get so bad for Dignitas. But as it stands, round 20, 12-7, Dignitas, the work starts here for them. A mountain to climb. This is a little bit more of a deficit than we saw them come back from against Immunity. Skadoodle's USP headshot through the smoke onto Schneider.
Hello.
Is huge. That is absolutely huge, because straight away it just stops this push in its tracks. The bomb is here, but they can't do much with it. They still have plenty of grenades to throw at their disposal.
No, only good thing right now for Dignitas is that they have mid control, and they have banana control, so they have a lot of options to work with.
That smoke. Skadoodle goes for the peak once more. Here comes the pop flash. And there's the FAMAS play. You could see the teamwork in motion from Cloud9. The execution wasn't quite up to snuff, though. And that trade out gives Dignitas a lifeline. You can see, though, that 2 players are pretty low. MSL is going to be opting to push through onto the CT side, maybe trying to stop Cloud9 in transition from the B site. And there's MSL. He does get picked off from freakazoid, though. 20 seconds now. It's going to be a B play, and the only B defender has been taken down. So that will be the bomb plant now for Dignitas. The issue is that they're low on HP, and Cloud9 are coming in, but that doesn't seem to matter to aizy. He's happy enough to rip off heads with just 14 HP to his name.
Yeah, mistakes were made from Cloud9 there for sure. They had the upper hand getting that first pick with Skadoodle getting that kill through that smoke. But then I do not understand, when you're 5-on-4 up, why do you go with that flash peek? Because it can backfire so badly. Skadoodle trying to flash nothing into that arch to try and get a second kill as well. And then Sean Gares. Sorry, pal, but you were just in the wrong position. You should have been much further back on that site and try and delay. Stay alive as long as possible instead of being in a very, very risky positioning there, because you still had the numbers. It was a 4-3 situation at that point.
Yeah, and of course all the pressure, and the time was ticking down as well. Like, time was starting to get towards that stage.
That's when you want to play as far back on the site as possible. Make yourself known. Try to get that first kill. Okay, if they like insta headshot you, it's fine. But as long as you can stay alive, if that doesn't happen, then that'd be a lot better. Now instead, it's Cloud9, another save round here. Although Skadoodle, Shroud, save those weapons, and you're gonna have those to work with.
Skadoodle's in the position where he could make this work. There's the first pick off. He spotted himself a second victim potentially, but aizy's up to the task. He does answer back, but look at this from freakazoid. Holding the tight angle with the Zeus. If this pays off, this would be sickening for Dignitas. He's going to peek and he's going to get the frag as well. Aizy with another 2, however, in the meanwhile, but that is just sickening. Cloud9 have another Zeus in play as well, by the way, and it's on nothing. We've already seen him do this a bunch of times today. Dignitas should still have this round. I can just see you shaking your head. You're not a fan then?
No, I think it's actually hilarious. I mean, I can just imagine the rage going through your mind when that happens to you.
So, okay, boys, we've got AK's going to put... Oh, I'm dead. Okay, brilliant. Thanks. Thanks, Gaben.
Yeah.
So it looks like Shroud's going to save his M4, and of course nothing. Who has that Zeus is going to push onto the site. Not a great deal of value in what he possesses right now. And I think he was hoping that someone was pushing through into construction so he could get that cheeky frag, but instead he's going to push onto the site. I had a quick check there and I did see a defuse kit, but of course it's on Shroud, it's not on nothing, so he can't go for the ninja anyway, and he will die. 9-12, Dignitas are pulling this one back.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud9 so far on that previous round, like I said, mistakes were made. They had the early opportunities and the advantage as well going for them, but it was them mucking up that round more than Dignitas really winning it, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't be too worried from Cloud9 still at this point. They're still very much in this. I would see freakazoid there who the Zeus was again. But yeah, Cloud9 just has to be smarter down to the last seconds of the rounds.
Going for the super aggressive play this time. It's nothing that goes in.
It's good though. I like it.
Yeah.
Getting that banana control is very vital. That's gonna make it. Wow, nothing. Just spamming through that smoke, getting MSL as well. Like I was gonna say, this banana control, it's an important factor, but nothing just made it even more important by getting that first kill.
And those kind of frags just come down to playing this map so much. Like knowing roughly where T's are going to be at what time and just tapping across.
Yeah, it comes down to experience. And he's played this game a couple of times, I think.
Just a few.
Yep.
But that kill, very reminiscent of what Skadoodle did, actually. You know, just through the smoke, instantly stops the push, puts Dignitas on the back foot. Yeah. However, is history going to repeat itself? Because then Dignitas came back and won the round.
Yeah, now this is the point where Cloud9 needs to be the smart one here. Not just play passively. Let Dignitas do what they want to do and just play into their hands. Instead of trying to get a cheeky second or third kill by doing some kind of a flash push. So let's see what they do here. I think this positioning right now at this B-bomb side is actually perfect for Cloud9. It's going to be really hard for Dignitas to make this work.
Definitely. You can see that
they're not even utilizing the Molotov they have right now, Dignitas.
Oh, but he doesn't get that pop flash off quick enough, and it hasn't really affected. And both players fall down within a millisecond of each other.
Well, there goes that perfect setup.
Oh, man. That was fantastic fragging from Dignitas. And that's going to be the bomb plant as well. And suddenly, things are getting a bit sketchy for Cloud9. They're going to start to feel the pressure right now weighing down on their shoulders. They have to back off again and just save these weapons.
Well, still, do not overanalyze when you're Cloud9 at this point. Do not overanalyze the situation. It's just been small little variables there, obviously. Getting those first picks. The guy that was playing back aside in B, he should have hit those shots. He should have gotten that first kill. Didn't connect. Things escalated. Both players died. B side lost, and that was pretty much it. Earlier on in that round, the first weapon round, they had just lost due to them making a mistake. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, it's debatable. Cloud9 using a timeout just to sort of stop this momentum from Dignitas would maybe be a good solution.
What I really like about that play as well is that Dignitas pushed onto B site without using any of their utility. They didn't telegraph that push. So the second player who was tight on the oranges who was looking for the pop flash threw it way too late. And it's not his fault even. It's just the fact that he wasn't expecting the push to come in.
That's a very good point to make, actually. Yeah, Dignitas really surprised Cloud9 there. That pretty much enabled, actually, everything that happened in that round as well.
Because it effectively neutralized that play. He had his flash out for 2 or 3 seconds as the fight was underway.
Yep.
So that's huge for Dignitas. And these are the kind of little, very small nuances that can cost teams so big. But look at this from Shroud. He's going to lock down. There's a Mag 7 in play. Doesn't seem to matter so far for Cloud9. They're getting a perfect crossfire down on mid.
Let's see if they can actually utilize this early advantage now. There we go. Shroud picking up that third kill of the round.
Much better from Cloud9. And just like that, Dignitas have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what just happened.
Yeah, that's the funny part about this is actually Cloud9, I think every single weapon round so far, they've managed to get the first pick. Still managing to lose all of them. But I think this time around it's going to be Cloud9 picking this up, unless Pimp and aizy just go full hand on this.
I think it would have to be a massive mistake from Cloud9 for them to clutch from this point.
Oh,
because
definitely.
if their crossfire is even semi-down, like there's no hope for Dignitas, but there's the first frag. The smoke isolates two of the Cloud9 players who are on the site. They're looking for the spray down. Here comes Pimp. He can do nothing, and Cloud9 finally, they do break the curse.
See what they did there. He could do nothing, and nothing picking up.
I didn't even mean that.
Wow.
I swear I didn't even mean it. I'm just gonna leave. If I meant to do that, that would have been pretty horrendous.
That was pretty neat. But yeah, Cloud9 picking up most of the first kills and finally actually utilizing that early advantage, picking up that round. I think 3 of them survived. freakazoid still holding on to this max 7. He's going to be playing that banana position. He's going to have a lot of battles coming in his way.
Yes, but the spray is going to go the way of Cloud9, and second player was absolutely ripped to shreds. There is a frag back, however, from Pimp. Need to be careful. freakazoid again, just holding this angle. He does get the tag, but not the frag in the end.
Well, the good thing right now for freakazoid that there was a cover still. There was nothing still in that B bomb side, so the whole bomb side wasn't lost. As Dignitas is actually making its way towards that A site.
Key player is going to be Shroud here. What can he do? He's done a lot of damage. There's so much damage being exchanged onto Dignitas. Finally, Shroud has connected enough on Schneider to take him down. That Molotov is going to force Kjærbye out of position. In fact, no, it's not. Yes, it will finally spread to him. I was like, hold on a second. Why is he not burning to a crisp?
Yeah, Cloud9 has pushed 3 to banana for most of the rounds of this city have, actually. This time around, they actually caught off for Dignitas. Cloud9 picking up those kills. Going into a 3-on-3 situation, but still 2 of the Cloud9 CT players. So see as Sean Gares here picking up this first kill and managing to pick the second as well. That advantage in favor of Cloud9, and they move on the 14th round.
Scary thing to Cloud9 though is Sean Gares goes and picks up a really sick double kill, and then they instantly get traded back. Yeah, that's a huge nade as well. And it's not like this is an anti-eco round. That's with Kevlar. That nade literally landed on aizy's face. And here comes the cleanup once more. Or maybe I spoke too soon. The Molotov will keep Dignitas at bay, but I don't think they're interested in that anyway. And this time there was 3 players on B as well from Cloud9, and I'm just curious if Dignitas would have called that.
Yep, it was once again here. And this time, it's actually Dignitas pushing towards the A site right now.
Shroud has been finding some pretty sick frags from this position, so definitely wouldn't write them off. There's the first one. There's just too many players there. Skadoodle has a quick peek, doesn't connect the shot. He gets taken down, and suddenly Dignitas are looking good for this round. Bomb has been planted. Nothing comes in. Bags himself a frag, but does lose 78% of his health in the process. freakazoid from Archer's side. This next kill is absolutely vital to how 25th round goes. freakazoid goes in, does get the frag. It's all on Kjærbye now. And there's the first one, and the second one as well. What a shot! Saw a millimeter of freakazoid's head, converted it to the frag, and somehow gives Dignitas another crack at this map.
Wow, early on those battles was B, you thought, it's going to be over this one here, but that trade and went into a 4-on-4 situation, obviously going to be favoring that T side, and then a fast push from Dignitas towards A side, eventually coming down to this Kjærbye, picking up those 2 beautiful kills, and making it 11-14 right now. At this point, it's going to put Cloud9 on another save run as well, so
yeah,
it's very back and forth at this point, but obviously Dignitas still under a lot of pressure here. They can't afford any mock-ups here.
So not only huge to keeping Dignitas' survival going, but also forces Cloud9 on the back foot once more. They are getting frags though. You can hear the Zeus just rattling off in the distance, but this time will not claim any lives. Pimp does trade it out, but there's Shrouds. They're making this one as damaging as possible from Cloud9's perspective. You know, they're still in this round as well. Yeah, exactly. And Shroud knows it. If he can just convert the pixel into a headshot, this would have been even worse for Dignitas.
Yeah, a lot of information from aizy right now. He's moving towards that CT spawn. He's going to be flanking both those players, possibly. Nope, he's going to do the safe play. He's going to just see if B is actually clear. I think he knows it is. And that's Kjærbye pushing towards B site. And making the smart calls there is Dignitas.
Very nicely done by Dignitas. And in this kind of situation, you heavily favor them because they've got Kevlar, Cloud9 don't. So the aim punch is going to be a real pain in the backside for Cloud9 if they get close enough.
Yeah, they should probably definitely just maybe even save at this point, but they're not. They're opting it in, going in with this health they have, and freakazoid making it happen as well.
Well, I guess if you get the insta-headshot, it doesn't matter about aim punch, but aizy has answered back in kind, now has a decent position, and again, it's a clutch from Dignitas, but considering that was an eco from Cloud9, they picked up 4 frags.
Yep, that's not a good sign moving forward for Dignitas, that's for sure, when giving that many kills away against an eco. But at the same time, when you're Cloud9, you're going to be happy with the fact that you just made it really, really costly for Dignitas going further. So now we're going to be seeing a full buy from Cloud9. Let's see what they've actually bought. They've gone for the AWP. Skadoodle's on the op again. And yet again, we see Cloud9 pushing 3 players to Brana. They really, really want to see those early battles there. This time, though, they're sending that op there with Skadoodle.
Yeah, Skadoodle had a really good spawn for Banana, so I think that's why they've gone for this one. And you can see from his crosshair, I feel like he probably is going to check this boost. Yes, he absolutely is. And there you go.
Denied.
Pretty much. Pretty much, in a nutshell, gets wrecked. And I can see nothing. Spots himself a couple of pixels of one of those players up in apps and does deliver a pretty costly grenade as far as Schneider's concerned. And there's Skadoodle again, and this is what we weren't seeing earlier on in the day from him, but finally he is connecting those shots. And remember, map number 2 is Cash, and that's a map where he could just take over completely. So these are definitely promising signs from Cloud9's Orpa. That being said, though, there's still work to be done here in round 27. 50 seconds to play with still 3 Dignitas players alive and kicking. Make that just 2 now. Nothing locks down Kjærbye on Arches. Looking for that flash once more. Doesn't actually throw it this time around. And it is going to get pushed, but that flashbang wrecks Schneider's push initially, so he goes back in for seconds, connects the headshot, and surely Dignitas can't clutch this. This would be a crippling body blow to Cloud9. 20 seconds, Shroud still in pit, and is going to be looking to peek here. Again, good positions from Cloud9. That Molotov forces Shroud into more of a bottleneck position, and I think that's Dignitas giving up on this round and just trying to keep these weapons alive and play for the overtime.
Yep. That's a scary thing. Another example of when you have an opera like Skadoodle or your team, you can send him on any side of this map, and he's gonna be a dangerous man. This time, then Cloud9 sending him into Banana, and he's getting those 2 first kills, basically making it that round towards Cloud9, and that's gonna push them into match point here. It's been a pretty back and forth affair so far. This second kill, by the way, is pretty nutty. It's only a small gap there actually is. It has to hit.
That's like raw reaction speed.
Yep.
That's pretty ridiculous stuff. And I thought this map was going the way of the Dodo. I thought we were going to be done when we saw 7-0 on T-side for Cloud9, but all fairness to Dignitas for bringing this one back. That being said, though, freakazoid trying to put the final nails in the coffin of Inferno for Dignitas, and it's just going to be the spray down in full effect. It's all on Kjærbye once more. He got a sick 1v2 clutch before on the A side, but this is one more player to find and frag. And he's actually going to go for that full-on plant, and that will be to his cost of life. 16-12, Inferno finishes. Cloud9 take the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Cloud9 is sending 3 players to Banana. I think, I'm not sure, but basically every single run on that CT half. And on that T half, they played a super simple style that really worked out for them. Obviously, going after that 7-0 lead to start off with is obviously going to help you a lot. So yeah, just great plays. I think a lot better on Inferno that we used to from Cloud9, and I think this is going to spell a lot of trouble for Dignitas moving forward.
Oh, definitely. But we are going to quickly jump to a commercial break. As you can see, the players standing up, just kind of loosening themselves off, going to have a quick break for themselves. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back for map number 2, which will be Cash in this epic best of 3.